All right, looking at the NAS, guys, as you can see, way early back in May when price was here, I predicted the top between 30,000 and 31,000, which has held true. I did say that if peace broke out worldwide, we'd see a spike, perhaps a blow off top. But now a lot of indicators are showing that we're turning. If you remember, and guys, if you're new here, welcome. But you can always go back and look at my other recorded videos week over week. I can't make this stuff up because it was recorded, right? Like you can say, well, you just changed that number. No, I didn't, guys. If you go back and look at the consistency there, I said that we were channeling and jump roping this VWAP with declining buy side momentum and not only declining buy side momentum, but declining volume. And now we're picking up momentum and volume on this side. And I said we were going to test this golden dot. So let's see how accurate I was. Let's remove the dot. Well, look at that. It hit exactly the zone that I drew out for everyone, including that VWAP, and bounced, right? This is the exact prediction I said that this would be support. We would get lift. How high a lift? We may get some optimism that runs back to that all-time VWAP and then retest this level. But it is my contention that we will at some point, whether it be, I don't necessarily say in the next week, but in this year or in the coming quarters, that we will arrive back down at this heavy support zone at 26,000 where we have not tested. So we want to protect ourselves against any buy that is related to this that protects us in this zone so that we can exit here and then re-enter on greater support lower. Commensurate with that, I have said that I am long the Qs or I am long SQQQ, which shorts the Qs in Nasdaq, and I am long at that green. I entered that long back here, guys, and I endured some drawdown, right? But this is a long-term play to protect my portfolio. You can also do this with options. I bought shares. We'll be getting information out to you on how to do this on options also in subsequent videos if you follow me. But now we've closed above this. So what I said is I'm only partially in this and I only buy in lots. So I bought my one lot, which went underwater. And now as we cross this, and more particularly as the NAS then closes below this zone. So this, I'm looking for a 2-day closed filter. So this is known as a false break of this level or a test into this one. Once we get a candle where the real body, that's the full rectangle of the candle, not the wick, closes below this level twice, that is a 2-day closed filter, that will be a signal for me to add to my position. I'm getting a lot of questions of when do I add SQQQ? That is what we're looking for, guys. If we get a negative test up here, that's a great time to get a discount on SQQQ, which would rebound back down here. But then the confirmation will come when we have a 2-day close filter below that. And that may happen this week. So you want to be on top of that. And then, of course, next week, I will talk about it in my weekend update. But intra week, if you follow me, I'll give you the alert that that's happening. Matter of fact, as we sit here, let's set an alert. And if you didn't know how to do this on TradingView, you see the plus sign. I'm going to set a level to where it breaks down to 28,100, which tells me it's breaking through this level so that I know to go look at my charts. And then when that happens, especially on the second day, we'll add the SQQQ position. But I don't believe that with increasing volume that this is a positive sign that we will continue to hold this. It is possible that we get a bit range bound between that key level and the developing all-time high anchored VWAP, and which puts pressure on price, creating a pressure cooker. Then at some point it squirts out of that, right? We don't know the direction that it squirts, but volume will lead us into telling where buyers and sellers are. If it's a high side sell spike, we will drop into the lower levels. High side buy spike, I don't see happening unless peace breaks out. So right now the probability is that we head down. So you want to protect yourself there. The S&P 500 did, look at this, gap down. We gapped down and then closed below that all-time high anchored VWAP where we were holding it. This was the predicted zone for in around the all-time high for resistance once it was created, right? And we fell out of that zone. And this is our first full day close below that. A second day close tells us we have further down. Interestingly enough, we do have increasing volume, which finished on the buy side in a doji. So there is a bit of a war on equilibrium between buyers and sellers here. But the next support level I really have is about 7,300. And you can see I have an alert set on that. And if you didn't know, you can set an alert on an actual indicator. This is the VWAP set to this candle at the end of March, because that's when this run started. And that's going to be very critical. That is the volume weighted average price that investors are paying for the S&P 500, and I believe that we're going to see that test next, right? So that's my next range that I'm looking for, and we'll probably see a bounce and do exactly what the Nas is doing, where it's going to bounce in between there, where it may decide to sell down. And long term, like I have 26,000. When the Nas is at 26,000, I predict that the S&P will be around 7,000, where we are due to test at some point.